Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is already the best-selling fighting game of all time and one of the most historic crossovers of all time when it comes to major games. Not many games can say that they've been able to bring together this many forces in the world of gaming all together in one title for the ultimate showdown when it comes to a fighting game. But I am here to tell you guys that this will be the real end of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate when it comes to the DLC, based on what Sakurai had to say here, and I'm happy that is the case because I'll talk about that in just a bit. And I also want to talk about who the last Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character will be and how it might upset some of you guys, but we'll give some alternate scenarios as well. But before we get into any of that, please make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe if you are someone new for daily gaming videos on here and also live streams as well, and hit that notification bell to get our videos as soon as they drop. Now let's go ahead and get into this here because Masahiro Sakurai has once again reconfirmed that this will be the last Super Smash Bros. Character in the game. When it comes to DLC, this will be the last character, okay? There's not going to be anything else after this. I get questions all the time. Hey, OJ, do you think that they're going to do some type of secret third fighter's pass or secret extra character or something along the lines of that? They could do some type of sneaky thing to where it's like 2 characters at the end, kind of like how Pyra and Mithra are counted as 2 characters because they do have differences between them that would go beyond the Echo type of fighter. So maybe they do something sneaky like that, which in this video I'd probably say guess that there's going to be a character like that. That might make some of you guys mad based on the franchise or not. But I want to talk about this first when it comes to why this DLC needs to stop. Now, one thing that I want to point out here, guys, is that Nintendo did pick all the DLC characters, and Masahiro Sakurai would take that suggestion from them and say, hey, we can do this, or maybe we can't. So at the end of the day, people like to sit there and shift around and make it seem as if Sakurai did everything with these DLC characters. That is not the case. Nintendo picked a lot of them, and Sakurai then said, hey, we're gonna go with this, or we're gonna go with this based off of who I talk to, with the franchise and based off of what I can do. So just keep that in mind. It's not all 100% Sakurai like many people just like to throw out there on the internet all the time. Now, Masahiro Sakurai has been working on Smash Bros. Almost non-stop since Super Smash Bros. For Wii U came out back in 2014. Now, obviously, games are made before that. So the game was announced at E3 2011, and Sakurai didn't even know that he was going to be the director of that game. So that was very interesting, off to a pretty shaky start, but he was able to get that game done. But unfortunately, since the Wii U didn't do so well, Nintendo had to plan right away for the next Super Smash Bros. Game, and there wasn't really any time for them to have a bit of a break. So Sakurai got right back into it and got into the development of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, having that game launch only about 1 year and some odd months after the Nintendo Switch system in 2018. So that was a tall task, but on top of it being the biggest crossover when it comes to starting characters and what they're doing already in there with everyone returning, they said we're going to do 2 DLC passes in the game in addition to an extra DLC character with the Piranha Plant. So that's already a lot of work. And Sakurai at one point, I forgot when exactly it was, I think it was more than a year ago though, he actually fainted when he was at the gym due to overworking, just trying to get some exercise and take care of himself because of how much work he'd been doing. Now obviously it seems like they took care of him since then. He's not sitting there and working 23 out of 24 hours out of the day. So I'm glad that they were able to make sure that that doesn't happen again, but it really shouldn't happen at all. And I would love for Sakurai, somebody who's been dedicated, someone who's been extremely dedicated, pretty much one of a kind developer in the industry, I would love for him to be able to take a real legitimate break from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and pursue something that he's very passionate about when it comes to game development, because he's not really old. Some people are saying, oh, he's going to retire and this and that. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, he's like in his 50s, right? Or something like that. So he's not super old and he's not, I don't think, ready to retire at this point. So I was thinking about what he can do next. And if you guys don't remember, there was this little game called Kid Icarus Uprising on the Nintendo 3DS, which was a phenomenal game, a really good game. And I would love for Sakurai to get the opportunity to stop working on Super Smash Bros. For just 1 second and be able to make a true successor to Kid Icarus Uprising on the Nintendo Switch. And that could be an incredible experience, because Kid Icarus Uprising on the Nintendo 3DS, in my opinion, is one of the best games on that platform, and also the best Kid Icarus game of all time. And I guess maybe that's not saying a lot, because there's only 3 of them, including Kid Icarus Uprising, but still, it's a phenomenal game. And I think that what that game did back on the Nintendo 3DS all those years ago, imagine what Sakurai, somebody who's showed and proven that he has a really good knack for making super high quality games when it comes down to it, imagine what he could do on the Nintendo Switch outside of the Smash Brothers type of game. I think that could be something that would get people really excited. And I do think that Kid Icarus deserves another shot. It's been almost a decade since the last Kid Icarus game on the Nintendo 3DS. There were some issues with the controls of the game. I don't think that's the reason why the game didn't sell, 5 million copies or whatever the case is. But at the same time, I still think that on the Nintendo Switch, just like a lot of other franchises that have came out before it that didn't do quite as well on previous systems, this could really have that Switch effect, this boost effect, if there was a Kid Icarus Uprising 2 on the platform. Or maybe Sakurai just does something completely new. But I would love to see Kid Icarus, just because in the past, 30 something years, there's only been 3 games. We're averaging like 1 game every 12 years or something like that, something crazy. So I would love to see him get back into that. And Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC has to stop. This is crazy. It's just done. It needs to be done. There's enough characters, there's enough stages, there's enough music, there's enough everything. There does not need to be anything else for this game. Everything that they could do, they've done in there. I mean, rollback netcode would be the only thing, but from what I understand, as a game this big and completed already and rooted in what it's already in when it comes to the game, that would be hard to implement that type of thing. So for the next game, they should definitely do rollback netcode, which I think Sakurai also stated that they looked into that when they first started development, but it was just too difficult to implement back then. So hopefully, all the way fast forward to when the next Super Smash Bros. Game comes out years from now, then they can implement that, because that's really what it needs. That's pretty much the only thing that it needs so far. Everything else has been fairly solid, aside from a few things here and there. So I would love for him to kind of say, okay, let's get back to Kid Icarus. Let's get back to making something that he wants to make in his own element. So that's my thought process on that. Now let's talk about what this character is going to be. So I think that there is a very high probability that this ends anticlimactic for lots of people out there. Now, for me and for certain fans, this character suggestion would be insanely hype, but I do feel that it could be the last Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC character could be a first-party Nintendo character, and that character could be the Akira twins from Astral Chain. And like I talked about with Pyra and Mithra, maybe they kind of have both of them in there and they each have like a couple legions or so. Or maybe it's just one character and then you can just pick them and switch between them, almost like Corrin. Corrin has the male and the female in there and different types of colors between them that you can pick with their outfits. So I think that they're more likely to do that, since the Akira twins aren't the same person. They're 2 different people, and then they also fight. So it's probably more likely that they do the Corrin approach from Fire Emblem and just make it to where you have female and male alternates between the 2 of them. And they probably map different types of legions to different special attacks or to different smash attacks when you use them. So that could be it there. Now, once again, Astral Chain is not the biggest Nintendo first-party game out there. Heck, a lot of people don't even think it's a first-party game because Platinum Games developed it. But no, it's a first-party game. It's a first-party Nintendo game just as much as anything else is, because Nintendo owns the IP, published the game, distributed the game, and even helped develop the game with the themes and what they wanted to go for. The whole police and different types of things with the legions and all that, that was Nintendo's idea. That game was going to be something different if Platinum Games simply just thought about the idea. It was going to be like a magic sorcery type of game. So Nintendo did give it that type of idea. So they did help out with development, and of course they funded everything, so therefore first party IP, which is crazy that I gotta explain that in this day, but hey, it is what it is on that one. But either way, I do think that that would be super hype for me, because I absolutely love Astral Chain. I think that even though that game has like an 87 or something like that on Metacritic, I think it's underrated. I think it's even better than what critics gave it credit for. I think it's one of the best games on the Nintendo Switch, hands down, and I would love to see them bring that back in and hopefully spur interest on more people picking up Astral Chain as well, and of course spur interest on a sequel too. Who knows if Nintendo's already cooking that up with Platinum Games in the lab. When it comes down to it, the original game did sell extremely well for what they were going for. Over 1 million units on the Nintendo Switch for a brand new IP in the action genre that doesn't do as well as some of the other genres out there. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good for what they were aiming for in that game. But I do think now that Astral Chain has like a little bit of independent clout when it comes to just the title itself, I do think a sequel, and of course the Akira twins in Super Smash Bros. Could definitely spike the interest in the game and in the franchise, just like we saw with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 with Pyra and Mythra getting into the game as well. So I'm hoping, for me at least, if it's a first party character, that it's going to be the Akira twins, and I'm guessing it's going to be that. Now everyone wants to know, well, what about third party wise? Who could it be? Well, it's interesting because some people still say it could be like Sora from Kingdom Hearts, which maybe, but I don't know. We just had Sephiroth, so if we just had Sephiroth from there, I don't think that there's going to be Sora as well, but it's still possible. It's still possible for Sora, but I also feel that Master Chief from Halo is definitely possible. Hey, look, we got Steve, okay, from Minecraft. We got Steve from Minecraft. We got Banjo and Kazooie. Who says that Nintendo won't have Master Chief on there as well? We all know Microsoft, Phil Spencer, he's been trying to get, Game Pass on the Nintendo Switch. Phil Spencer's like, we are doing Game Pass everywhere that's Game Pass. So I'm pretty sure he would want Master Chief on, Super Smash Bros. And I think he said something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or whatever. But yeah, I think it would be really cool to see somebody like Master Chief in there. On how likely is it going to happen? Well, I'm not so sure on that one. I'm still banking on a first party character, and it just kind of ends anticlimactic for a lot of people out there because most gamers have not played Astral Chain. But Nintendo is on this redemption run when it comes to their final season pass, when it comes to the final DLC character pass, right? We got Min Min in there, we got Byleth in there as well, which dated back to the previous Fighters Pass, but they've been putting in a lot of those 2017 characters, those characters from 2018 and 2019, right? When it comes to like Fire Emblem with Byleth, when it comes to Pyra and Mythra, that was very late 2017. When it comes to Min Min, that was mid-ish 2017 in the launch year of the Switch. So they've been adding first party characters from games that have been coming out throughout the years. And Fire Emblem, of course, Byleth, that was 2019, but that game was supposed to come out 2018 though. It got delayed from 2018 to 2019. So I really do feel that, this could be the last one when it comes to Akira twins from Astral Chain, but we're gonna have to wait and see on that one, guys. This is just my thoughts on it. What do you guys think? Who do you think the last character will be, and what do you want to see Sakurai work on next for the Nintendo Switch after he's finally done with the Super Smash Bros. DLC, which is ending at the end of this year, guys? According to Sakurai, according to everything, it is done when it comes down to it. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you for the next one. Peace.